Flaming Eternity is a core booster set in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, which was released in North America on March 1st, 2005, containing some fusion monster support with the likes of the Hex-Sealed Fusion monsters and a bit of beast-type support. The set was mainly desirable for cards such as Lightning Vortex and Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Unlike the last set, Rise of Destiny, this one had a ton of weird and scary monsters to choose from, so I had no problem finding at least 10. So, without further ado, let's jump into the top 10 weirdest monsters in Flaming Eternity. And up first on the list at number 10 is Chuke, the Mouse Fighter. Chuke the Mouse Fighter is an Earth level 3 beast normal monster with 1200 attack and 0 defense with this flavor text. A fiery mouse traveling the world to become the strongest fighter in the world of mice. Be careful not to touch him or you will get burned. Man, this just feels like a monster from 2002. From the artwork to the flavor text, it doesn't really feel like your typical 2005 card, and that 2002 quirkiness shines through with this furry Bruce Lee knockoff. First, the artwork. It's just a buff-ass mouse standing on 2 legs and has literal human hair on its head. The flavor text is also, let's just say, interesting. I don't know if they really meant to make it sound like he can literally use the power of fire or not, but if so, nothing in its artwork or typing really suggests that. But if they're just using it as a metaphor for how strong and feisty he is, then I guess I understand. Not to mention how, no pun intended, cheesy that text is. Be careful not to touch him or you will get burned. Same energy as the kid from the "Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side" video. And up next at number 9 is Flame Ruler. Flame Ruler is a fire level 4 pyro effect monster with 1500 attack and 1600 defense with an effect that reads, this card can be tributed as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a fire monster. You know, looking at this dude up close really makes me think he's a goddamn psychopath, or he's just going Super Saiyan or something. Either way, he's just weird looking in general. The stats are pretty standard, and his typing makes sense. The effect, while not too strange, is kinda unique. There were a small series of monsters back in the day that could be used as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of their corresponding attribute, and Flame Ruler over here was obviously the one for fire. What really gives him the honor of making this list, though, is the artwork. Some crazed looking man who has no pupils, glowing rune-like tattoos all over his body, and basically being a firebender. Wait a minute, is that Fortnite Ninja? And up next at number 8 is Blade Rabbit. Blade Rabbit is an Earth, level 2 beast effect monster with 400 attack and 300 defense with the following effect. When this card is changed from attack position to face-up defense position, destroy 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field. Yo, is this a Metal Gear reference? I mean, it could be. Konami does develop the games. All I really know is that our boy Blade Rabbit over here really lives up to his name. From having spikes on his carrot weapon, to having literal sword blades for teeth, to the fact that he's dressed as a biker who lost his eye in a fight. It all comes together to make this thing strange. One other thing, why are there music notes in this artwork? Like, what does music have to do with either blades or rabbits? Its effect is also interesting, definitely fitting in a clown control style deck. Guys, I just want him to stop staring at me. And at number 7 is Maji Panda. Maji Panda is an Earth level 4 beast effect monster with 1000 attack and 800 defense, whose effect says, each time a beast type monster or monsters on the field is destroyed, this card gains 500 attack. Okay kids, let's say it together. Domestic violence. Yeah, there's no beating around the bush with this card's OCG artwork. Damn, I probably shouldn't have said beating there. Beside that, this panda's face is actually terrifying. Like, I can't really even make any jokes about this one. The scariness of both the panda himself and the situation at hand really makes me question their choices at Konami. I mean, this is a children's card game after all. Let's just move on. And up next at number 6 is Abare Usion. Abare Usion is an Earth level 4 beast warrior effect monster with 1200 attack and 1200 defense with an effect that reads, once per turn, you can toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, inflict 1000 damage to to your opponent. If you call it wrong, you take 1000 damage. Bro, this card is so nostalgic for me. One of the earlier cards I owned, I only ever liked it for its artwork. The fact that it's a literal demon bull with 3 eyes, bright red skin, and white markings all over its body is enough to garner a spot on the list. Also, who the f is this unlucky son of a bitch in the background? Comment down below to take a guess. The fact that it's also not just a beast, but a beast warrior monster kind of is strange to me as well, because it does not look like any kind of warrior. I could even see it being a fiend type, but that's Konami for you, I guess. And about halfway through the list at number 5 is Ultimate Insect level 5. Fittingly, Ultimate Insect level 5 is a wind level 5 insect effect monster with 2300 attack and 900 defense, with a wall of text that reads, if this card was special summoned by the effect of Ultimate Insect level 3, while it remains face up on the field, all of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack. During your standby phase, by sending this face-up card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ultimate Insect level 7 from your hand or deck. You cannot activate this effect the turn this card is normal summoned, special summoned, or flipped face-up. Yet another monster in the failed level mechanic. While having decent stats, its effect is pretty much just a really shitty floodgate, especially for all the hoops you have to jump through to get it out with that effect. But the reason I find it so weird is the artwork, obviously. Just like all the other monsters in the Ultimate Insect lineup, level 5 is pretty freaking bizarre looking, not to mention just downright terrifying. He's got some real boss monster energy without really being good as a boss monster. Listen, I gotta stop roasting this guy or I'll end up being Blue Eyes White Dude level 0 since, you know, I won't be alive to even have a level to speak of. Up next at number 4 is Element Doom. Element Doom is a dark level 4 fiend effect monster with 1500 attack and 1200 defense with the following effect. This monster gets the following effect or effects while there is a monster or monsters with the following attribute or attributes on the field. Earth. Negate the effect of an effect monster that this card destroyed by battle. Wind. If this card destroyed your opponent's monster by battle, it can attack once again in a row. This is what the edgy goth kids in school think of when they want to draw a demon. At least, that's what they visualize, because in reality, most of them probably suck at art despite making it their whole personality. Guys, the art teacher's so cool, like we can just express ourselves in here. But yeah, Element Doom over here really sells the scary, otherworldly, chimera-like being, from its gigantic bat-like wings to its frankly downright terrifying and uncanny face that has some sort of fleshy flaps on each side, to the bulging veins all over its body, to the long reptilian tail, all while having glowing purple runes throughout. The only other thing I'll mention is the effect. This guy was one of a couple monsters from around this time period that gained either 1 or 2 effects depending on which attributes were present on the field, which was, and still is, pretty unique in the game. Guys, I think he's beckoning me to go with him. I mean, just look at that hand motion and those come hither eyes. And at our number 3 spot is the Dark Hex-Sealed Fusion. The Dark Hex-Sealed Fusion is a dark level 3 rock effect monster with 1000 attack and 1600 defense, with an effect that says, you can substitute this card for any one fusion material monster, but the other fusion material monster or monsters must be correct. You can tribute fusion material monsters on the field, including this face-up card, special summon 1 corresponding dark fusion monster from your extra deck. It really doesn't get much stranger than this Lovecraftian abomination. It honestly seemed too obvious to have it at the highest spot, so I did put 2 others above it, just on principle. The writhing mass of flesh, metal, wires, and God knows what else really sells us on the fact that they made this thing to be weird on purpose. This was one of a series of Hex-Sealed Fusion monsters that supported fusion summoning, each with their own specific attribute, and the Dark is definitely the strangest of the bunch. Yeah, this thing's got a hole in the middle. Forbidden Fleshlight, anyone? And the runner-up on the list at number 2 is Shadow Slayer. Shadow Slayer is a dark level 4 fiend effect monster with 1400 attack and 200 defense, whose effect reads, if all monsters your opponent controls are in defense position, this card can attack your opponent directly. Okay, no beating around the bush here. This thing is downright terrifying. It looks like it just crawled right out of the SCP Foundation. Where a human head should be, there's some sort of animal-like skull with a single red eye painted on its forehead, all while sneaking around to assassinate its victims within the shadows. Like, dude, I wouldn't want to be on this thing's hit list, let alone in the same room as it. The effect, while not super unique, has a unique condition, being able to attack directly, but only if all your opponent's monsters are in defense position, which just makes it ass. While this guy may be sinister and odd, we still have one more freak of the week to talk about. So here we go. And the winner of the weirdest monster in Flaming Eternity goes to Brainjacker. Brainjacker is a dark level 2 fiend flip effect monster with 200 attack and 900 defense with this effect. Flip. Equip this card to a monster on your opponent's side of the field and treat it as an equip card. Take control of the equipped monster. Your opponent gains 500 life points during each of their standby phases. Yo guys, why didn't they make a wiener jacker? Although, looking at this eldritch abomination, I don't know if I want anything resembling it anywhere near my junk. Where do I even begin with this fucking freak? Let's start with the fact that it's a brain with almost tree limb-like appendages, each with sharp claws and demonic wings sprouting out, all while having a long-ass neck, ending not in a head, but a singular scary eyeball that just stares into your soul. Sometimes I think the makers of these monsters are pretty normal, but other times, like in the case of Brainjacker over here, I question their sanity. She jacking my brain till I equip this card to a monster on your opponent's side of the field. Well, goddamn, this episode of Weird Monsters in each set was kind of a banger. Everything from demonic freaks of nature to literal domestic violence. This set had it all. Not that domestic violence made this set a banger in particular, but it's just the fact that they included it at all in this children's card game. But that's it for my time, guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you're new here to become a Scrubscriber, as well as becoming a channel member, obviously if you can afford it, to get some cool perks. And make sure to comment down below what you think the weirdest monsters are in Flaming Eternity, along with giving a little super thanks, again, if you can afford it, so your comment can be seen more easily by me. Any monetary donation is very much appreciated, since I hope to one day make this my full-time job. And I will see you guys next time.